Hi, my name is Alegria, and the issue I will be talking about today is how we as humans can prevent damage to marine ecosystems. Now, marine ecosystems are in danger. The marine ecosystem is under severe stress in many areas, and the conditions necessary to sustain life are either in jeopardy or non-existent. The destruction of marine habitats is especially prevalent along coastlines where human populations have increased. Now, why is the marine environment so important? The marine environment supports a diverse range of sea life that is important for global biodiversity. A healthy marine environment supports our cultural and social well being, and the ocean's resources contribute to our economy and is a food source. Marine ecosystems are being destroyed and harmed, and we need to help prevent or even restore the damage. Now, humans do the most harm. Human activities affect marine ecosystems as a result of pollution, overfishing, the introduction of invasive species, and ocean acidification, which all impact the marine food web and may lead to largely unknown consequences for the biodiversity and survival of marine life forms. Just 13% of the world's ocean remains untouched by the damaging impacts of humanity. Outside the remotest areas of the Pacific and the poles, virtually no ocean is left harboring naturally high levels of marine wildlife. My solution is mangrove rehabilitation and restoration. Mangrove ecosystems occur in protected and sheltered environments in tropical and temperate regions and are important because of their global extent. They are highly productive and serve numerous ecosystem services. Rising temperatures and sea levels due to climate change are allowing mangroves to expand their ranges farther away from the equator and encroaching on temperate wetlands and salt marshes. Mangrove creeks and waterways are important habitats for estuarine and marine organisms ranging in sizes from viruses to crocodiles. They act as a natural nursery for many organisms and are extremely biodiverse and productive, meaning that there's a large complex of energy fixation and utilization. Mangroves are ecologically and economically important forests of the tropics. They have rates of primary production equal to those of tropical humid evergreen forests and coral reefs. They act as a natural coastal defense, protecting the environment from erosion and us humans from damaged property. They also act as a major carbon sink, reducing ocean acidification, which is one of the most harmful aspects of the marine ecosystem. Although mangroves only occupy 0.5% of the global coastal area, they contribute 10 to 15% of coastal sediments carbon storage and export 10 to 11% of particulate terrestrial carbon to the ocean. Their disproportionate contribution to carbon sequestration is now perceived as a means for conservation and restoration and a way to help alleviate greenhouse gas emissions. Like other trees, mangroves assimilate carbon dioxide into organic compounds to manufacture new leaves, roots, branches, and stem tissue, to maintain existing tissue, to create storage reserves, and develop chemical defenses. Living in salty anoxic soils, mangroves use an advantageous strategy of minimizing water loss and maximizing carbon gain by being highly efficient in water use and transportation, and by exhibiting physiological plasticity in relation to changes in environmental conditions. This means mangroves can prevent some chemical runoff from entering the ecosystem, and that they can act as a barrier for trash and pollutants, keeping them closer to the shore to be cleaned up rather than out in the ocean. Mangroves as well accumulate soil and sand, which build more land, helping to fight rising sea levels from climate change. In this graph, there are multiple ecosystems, and out of all the ecosystems, the mangrove forest has the highest average global carbon stock, which means it contains the most it assimilates the most carbon, preventing more ocean acidification, which kills coral reefs and many other wildlife. Okay, so the plan in action. There was a successful establishment of 500 hectares of mangroves at Westlake in Broward County, Florida. In addition to facilitating cost-effective development of viable mangrove habitats, the modified hydraulic design also included tidal creeks that allowed proper hydrology to support restored fish habitats, which shows how viable this plan actually is. In this picture, it's a desolate, and in this picture, after the rehabilitation, it is very lively. Another example is the rehabilitation of degraded mangroves in Malaysia. The project aimed to rehabilitate degraded mangroves in Sabah with mangrove and associated species. This project was carried out by the Sabah Forestry Department with technical advice from the International Society for Mangrove Ecosystems, which have run many different mangrove rehabilitation projects in many different countries. And in this picture, you see before it's also very desolate, and after it was successful and now is a very highly productive ecosystem. And there are my sources. Thank you.